next.
Done what they done because of me and who I was and the situation that I was in, and took fully advantage of that. That wasn't justice, bro. If you look at that video and you say that was justice, you're not a human. That was not justice.
He's looking for justice. Justice because he got beat up. At the time, though, he was an inmate. And he was restrained. And it was actually the jailers who were beating him up. The jailers ended up in court, but as you can see, he feels no sense of justice tonight. Let's take a look at this report from WEWS in Cleveland.
Terrence DuBose in court, watching video of what investigators call a brutal, dishonorable attack at the hands of two Cuyahoga County jailers last March. Blow after blow to DuBose as he sat strapped in a restraint chair, defenseless.
I didn't go aggressive to them. They went aggressive to me.
The two jailers involved in the attack pleaded guilty to charges late last year. Officer Timothy Dugan to attempted abduction and assault. His supervisor, Corporal Nicholas Evans, to attempted felonious assault and tampering with evidence, after investigators say Evans turned off his body camera to avoid recording the attack. Today, both apologized to DuBose.
I broke, and I'm not proud of it, but it's the truth.
I failed myself. Most importantly, I failed you. I truly do apologize for my actions.
Prosecutors pointed out, incredibly, the attack came 10 months after investigations into conditions inside the jail began.
Everyone in that jail knew that they were under a lens, and their behavior was under close scrutiny. And yet this third world behavior is happening. It's no stretch to call this torture.
But DuBose says he knows why it happened, blaming a broken justice system.
He done what they done because of me and who I was and the situation that I was in, and took fully advantage of that.
Today, Judge John O'Donnell sentenced Dugan to 10 days in jail, Evans to 9 months in prison on the more serious charges. But to the man beaten during what prosecutors say was a mental breakdown, today's sentences offer little assurance this won't happen to someone else behind bars.
Yes, that was a slap on the wrist. That wasn't justice, bro. If you look at that video and you say that was justice, you're not a human. That was not justice.
Wow. Was that justice? Let's bring back in Ian Friedman with us, one of the top criminal defense attorneys in Ohio, practices around the country, is with us tonight in Cleveland. That video, 9 months for one of them, the one that turned off his body cam, 10 days for the other. I mean, if a jailer was restrained and beaten like that, would the person who did it get 10 days?
Yeah, so the person who got the 10 days, I know, because when you first hear that, you just kind of are taken aback by it. So that was the second person into the room. He was not the supervisor who you saw throw the 6 punches. He was the one who kind of came in after the fact. The reason that he ended up getting the 10 days was because right from the start, he began to cooperate. He was willing to testify, and he's continuing to cooperate with the prosecutor's office against jailers and other administrators. That, you know, we'll get to really what's been going on. There's such a bigger picture here that this case represents, but that's why he got the 10 days, because of the cooperation.
Should I be surprised that this happened?
No, you shouldn't be surprised, particularly here in Cuyahoga. So you heard the prosecutors, a very skilled and veteran prosecutor, say that, you know, everybody knew that we were being watched. And what that means is, here in Cuyahoga County, which is Cleveland, Ohio, we have now for years had incidents. We've had so many people dying in our county jail that just months before this happened, the feds, the U.S. Marshals, had to literally come in and do an assessment and overtake the place and put it basically under a watch. And then this still happens. So what Mr. DuBose said is most pointed when he said it just happens and it happens and it happens. He's spot on. He said it a little differently, but he's spot on. This has been going on for so long. And really, it is just everybody here in town is beside themselves as to what occurred in this.
Right, and we expect people who are placed in jail or in prison to be punished to a certain extent, although sometimes there's people in jail who are still presumed innocent that are waiting for their trials, right?
That's right.
So will this change anything? Obviously, this is a very shocking video, and it's a big issue there. But Ian, are you confident that things will change and we'll have a more humane treatment of inmates, some of whom are still in the jail presumed innocent?
Right. So, Vinny, I'm going to add to that. In our jail, in the Cleveland jail, the Cuyahoga County jail where this happened, most of the people who are in there are just charged. So a lot of your viewers, they say, like you said, well, these are inmates and they lose their rights. These are people who are presumed innocent. And really who they are the people who can't afford bond. So they're being singled out because they're the ones without the voices. This abuse has been going on for so long. Do I expect it to change? I've heard so much lip service from the politicians that it's going to change, and yet we still see this happening. I hope it does, but to answer your question in the affirmative, I'm just going to have to see it. It's going to have to be actions over words. And when we keep seeing this, it's hard to accept that change is on its way. I know that there are changes in plan. There's reform. There's a big push and an effort to change things here. But we've got a lot of correcting to do in this town.
Are they equipped, do you believe, to handle mental illness? Because I believe a lot of people who, again, can't make bond, there's always an underlying tone. Maybe it's not legal insanity, but mental illness that clearly is a part of what's going on in their lives. Do you think they're equipped to handle it?
No, I don't. They may be getting better, but they have not been. I don't think that they are to an adequate level now, and certainly at the time of this offense, they were not. If you simply listen to Evans, who was the gentleman with the beard who got the most amount of time, the one who was throwing the punches, if you accept what he said at first, when he was first arrested, that the inmate was insulting him and it was about his family and he just snapped and blacked out, come on. This is what happens in a jail when you have most of the people coming in with some sort of mental health issue. This man had a spit mask on. He was covered in toothpaste from putting it on himself, screaming frantically about everything. And he thinks that it's okay to just simply say that I snapped. This is what he should have expected. So absolutely not. Were they equipped, nor are they equipped. They need to be.
Ian Friedman, criminal defense attorney, Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it.
You bet.
When we come back.